Hey everyone, I'm going to wait till some people hop on and then I'm going to get started. My name's Daisy and we're going to be doing high tea this afternoon. Everything involving afternoon tea, how England got its start with the whole tea culture and all of that. So once again, we're going to wait for people to hop on. Hi BLantini5, thank you so much for joining. We're going to wait for a couple more people to hop on, and we're going to be talking all about tea today, the history of tea in England, and various benefits of tea. So, my name is Daisy, and I am a college intern for Pandia. I mainly help with marketing and blog posts. Please check out our blog on our website. Our website is linked in our bio. We also have a YouTube channel, and we also have our Twitter and TikToks. Also, we have other people all the time that come on Instagram and do their own webinar, whether it's a TikTok dance, a collage, all of that. So thank you so much for listening. And once again, just a reminder, please use Pandia Health Services to get your birth control delivered for free. There's a link in our bio. And if you want, you can use my promo code Daisy and that'd be really appreciated. So we're going to be talking all about tea, and I just want to go into a little brief history of tea in general. So this is a brief history that I found on a blog called The Spruce Eats, and what it is the history of tea was first brought, tea was first brought to Britain in the early 17th century by the East India Company. It was an expensive product only for the rich and often kept under lock and key. And basically, the first tea shop for ladies opened in 1717 by Thomas Twining, and that, if you know, that's a very popular tea brand now. And also, with Thomas Twining and there were slowly tea shops that began to open more and more throughout England, and making the drinking of teas available to everyone. And the British further developed their idea of teas during the years of the British Empire in India. So that's a brief history. Yes, thank you, Nancy. I agree. I love vanilla rooibos. It's such a good tea. And we're going to kind of go over some various tea types later. So now that there's a brief history, I kind of want to go into the benefits of tea. Some people speculate whether or not there are actually benefits regarding tea. And actually, there is a study by the Harvard University that really says that the main health promoting factor of tea is polyphenols, and in particular catechins and epicatechins. So what that means is that these molecules have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Yes, I love vanilla and chamomile too, so thank you so much. We're going to get into that a little. And just some of the various teas that have benefits are peppermint, chamomile, there's lemon balm, rose tea, and green tea, and a lot of those have different anti-inflammatory properties. Those in particular typically are used to reduce stress and relaxing, but remember some of these teas do have caffeine, so it is important to keep in mind that if you are going to bed, you don't necessarily want to drink a green tea if you're sensitive to caffeine. So we're going to go a little into tea, and if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask and I'll answer your question about tea. So going into it, I personally have become a big fan of Lapsang Souchong tea. It's a really good black tea, and I'm going to show you a little more about this later. What I really love about it is it has a really earthy taste, and this one is a loose tea. And so with loose teas, you also want to make sure you have a tea strainer or a tea bag. So I have over here some tea filters that we typically use in my house, and we put this in a bag. You can put this in a pitcher of tea if you're doing a pitcher, and you can also do if you just want it for a cup. So thank you for asking how to spell this tea. Here is the spelling. And other teas I really enjoy I love matcha. Here's a matcha. And with matcha, I think it's really debatable whether it's good or not because it depends on the quality. Like coffee, you're gonna want a quality matcha. And I like to do matcha lattes, iced matcha lattes, whatever you really want. And it's really, really delicious. So once again, thank you all for joining. Just to recap really quick, if you please get your birth control delivered through Pandia, Pandia delivers your birth control free to your door, and use my referral code Daisy. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some chai tea. So I have started to make chai tea in the back of right here. I have never made chai tea before, but I really wanted to give it a try. So I'm going to post the recipe I used, and that way you can all refer to it or use it on your own as well. So thank you, Nancy, for asking if the health benefits are the same if you ice your tea. Now, the benefits aren't really going to be different because either way you're steeping it, but it really depends. I also would say refer to Google. I'm not a professional in the tea realm, but that is what I read from a Harvard review. And also, Angela, thanks for asking, how do you know your matcha is really good quality? Now, I would say that's harder to know, especially like if you're looking at a coffee bean. It's like looking at a bag of beans of coffee. How do you know which one's better? At the end of the day, you're probably going to choose the one based on like the branding of it, the overall package and product of it. And it really depends. And honestly, again, Google is your best bet. Hi, Katie. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're interested in a chai tea recipe, scroll on up. It's by Minimalist Baker. So far, I like it, but again, it's just I like it because it's easy. But again, matcha, you're gonna want to know if it's good. You're gonna want to do your research online. So this is the one I use. I really like it. There's also plenty of cooking matcha recipes online you can try. Sometimes I've had a matcha black sesame soft serve swirl before, and it's really, really good. But I've also seen recipes for matcha cakes. People do like a black sesame matcha combination, and it's really, really good. So now I'm gonna get into kind of our tea collection here at home. Just like coffee, my family really, really loves their tea. My mom in particular really loves Bengal Spice. If you've not tried Bengal Spice, it is a chai tea. It's basically it tastes to me very naturally. It is naturally sweet, but she likes to add some almond milk, and it's actually a really good way to make kind of like a chai latte. So here's our tea collection. Let me just flip this around. We have so many different teas because, again, like I said, there are different benefits depending on the tea you choose. And again, I really like just Google everything because I need to look it up. Angela and Sophia, thank you so much for recommending. I have not tried that tea yet, but I really want to try it. And actually, another drink that's not coffee, like tea isn't. I've tried making horchata last week, and it was so delicious. It was gone within 2 days, but it's another great idea to have just kind of a hot beverage that's non-caffeinated, and it kind of reminds me of tea, and actually it reminds me a lot of just like a chai latte because you're getting the spice of the cinnamon, so it's really, really delicious. Now, any kettle will really work. We have over here an instant kettle, and it's really, really nice. Now, tea, it could also be particularly warming for you if you have cramps during your period. But again, like with Pandia Health, you have an option. There's a blog, all these resources online, periods optional. So please check that out as well. And you can also check out our YouTube and everything to learn more. So I'm gonna go into talking about the chai tea. Yes, cinnamon is so good. And the chai tea I have started making involves cinnamon, whole cloves, whole cardamom, and also whole peppercorns. And the recipe called for non-dairy milk in addition to water and also black tea. So this is the Lapsang Souchong. It's a black tea that I am using for my chai tea. Let me go show you. And yes, thank you so much, Sophia, for linking the periods optional resource. Let me flip the camera really quick. This is the chai tea I have brewing. So right now it's just sort of simmering. I actually probably should lower that a little bit because I want to have it so all the flavors are really there. And afterwards I'm going to strain it and it's going to be delicious. Now, with tea as well, you can have it, like I sort of touched on this earlier. Nancy asked, what about the benefits of tea when it's iced? I think, I don't personally know enough about that, but I assume that because you are straining, steeping it in a similar way, it is going to have the same sort of benefits, but definitely use Google as a resource. Also with tea, it can be iced, it can be hot, just like any coffee you drink. Right now, I am drinking some chamomile lavender over here, and yesterday I made a matcha latte myself. So there's also plenty of ways to use tea into cooking ideas. So I know the New York Times has a great Earl tea cake recipe, and it's really, really good. It's really delicious, and there's also ways to use, make your own tea at home. You can do, if you're growing your own mint, you can actually make fresh mint tea. It's really delicious, and all you would do is you could have it in your cup with the mint leaves itself, but you can also just have it as it is. So again, if you have any questions regarding tea, feel free to ask me down below, and I will try to do my best to answer them. Or if you want any recommendations, etc., some ideas to food to pair with tea, I would say common in England are biscuits, crumpets, low tea cookies, but also I think any sort of tea sandwiches. I always like cutting up little sandwiches and having it as well. And thank you so much, Christian, for joining. And also some good ideas are just like, if you're wanting to make a scone, especially if you have the time now, if you have the resources available, try making a tea, a little scone or snack to go with your tea. Thank you so much again for all of you for listening. If you have questions, let me know. And actually, if any of you want to know how to make a particular matcha drink in particular, also let me know that as well. So for those who have just joined, thank you so much. And just a reminder, Pandia Health offers free deliverable birth control, and there's plenty of resources online between our YouTube, Twitter, blog posts, so many blog posts, and we have so many engaging people come on and do live webinars. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do with my chai tea. Now that it is ready to strain, I'm going to try to prop here and just move everything over. But what we have here is a strainer and a bowl. We're just literally going to pop those two in between and pour the hot chai. Because there's there's a bunch of tea in here, black tea leaves in here, and there's cinnamon and cloves. You really want to get that out, and then you're going to just strain it, and you can drink it hot, you can drink it cold, and it's really delicious. Yes, Angela, oh my gosh, there are so many lives that people do. People make TikToks, people make banana bread. I personally have learned so much. I've learned how to do some TikTok dances as well. So that's really great. So as you can see, I want to give you a little more of a close-up. There's some of the black tea that's remnants. This is actually freshly sliced ginger. I didn't want too much of a ginger taste, so I didn't grate it like the recipe called for. I just sliced it up, which is an option listed on the website, the Minimalist Baker website. And here is what the chai tea looks like once it is strained. Let me flop the camera around, and this is what it looks like. So it looks a little, those little white speckles are actually the coconut milk. I just used any non-dairy milk on hand, and it worked really well. So I'm wrapping up right now. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate those who just joined, but I'm gonna save the my live to the Instagram story so you can go back and watch if you missed any of it. Just a reminder, Pandia Health offers free deliverable birth control. We have plenty of resources online and so many other amazing people. Come on and do lives. Dr. Sophia Yen, the co-founder and CEO of Pandia Health, Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific time does a Q&A, live Q&A. So if you have any questions regarding birth control, women's health, hop onto the Instagram then, and it's greatly appreciated for you. I really appreciate you taking the time and everything. And once again, if you would like to, please use my referral code Daisy. Thank you so much, and I am here every Thursday at 3:30 Eastern Time or 12:30 Pacific Time. So next Thursday, we're going to be doing Treat Yourself Thursday, and after that, we have Not Your Typical Toast Thursday. So stay tuned for some more amazing webinars, and thank you so much.